Your network is your net worth. It's not who you know, or not. It's not what you know, it's who you know. These are all things we've heard about networking and how to get ahead in real estate investing. But for most of us, you're probably not starting out with the phone numbers of the richest people in your town or the most influential people in your real estate investing market. And so how do you go from complete beginner to actually having a network that increases your net worth? In this video, I'm gonna show you 3 things you can do today to start finding, reaching out, and building relationships with the most influential people in your market. To start off, we're gonna use PROPSTREAM, and this is my real account that I pay for. This video isn't sponsored. There is an affiliate link in the description. So if you decide to try out PROPSTREAM and do some of these things with my link, that'll help support the channel. What I'm about to do here, you can also do while you're on the free trial of PROPSTREAM. You can check out my other videos for why I think you should continue using PROPSTREAM, but nonetheless, you can do this even on a free trial. So let's go ahead and just select a random market. We're gonna select Atlanta. And something really cool that PROPSTREAM has is they have these quick list choices. So when I hit filter and I come to quick list, I'm gonna select cash buyers. Okay, so this is the first way that we're gonna figure out who are the most active cash buyers in our market. And you can see there's 55,816 properties in Atlanta that have been purchased with cash. But how we're really gonna like supercharge this is we're going to add some other filters to this list. For one, we don't want just any property anytime ever that was purchased with cash. We want properties that were purchased with cash recently. I don't want to be reaching out to someone who bought a property for cash 30 years ago but hasn't done anything like that since. I want active cash buyers. And so when I come up to filter, I can go to ownership info, and I want to go that the last sale date needs to be, let's just say, what year is it? It's 2023. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, let's just say we want something that's kind of in the last year. So anything that was purchased since the start of 2022. Okay, so now that takes us all the way down to 9,000 properties. Another thing that we can do is instead of taking anybody who's purchased a property for cash in the last year, we can actually determine how many properties we want them to have purchased. So if we think about it, like there are probably a lot of rich people in the city of Atlanta. Like it's a big city, you know, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of sports teams, whatever. And so there's probably quite a few people who bought a property for cash just because they have it, not because they're active investors. And so we don't want that just one-off cash buyer, we want investors. And so right here, we can choose the number of properties that we want the owner of any properties that are showing up to have. So we can say, I want them to have owned 5 properties minimum. And I can see it took me down from 9,000 now to 5,000. What if I said, I want them to have owned 50 properties minimum? Well, now I've got 2,000, and that's still a ton of cash buyers that are, 1, active because they purchased in the last 12 months, and 2, they've bought 50 properties for cash. Like these are the people in your market that you need to, 1, find with this first step, and then 2, we're gonna talk about in the next steps how you contact them. Another couple things that you could do to make this even more specific in the type of properties that you wanna target is you could come over to the property characteristics, and you can say, well, I just want those who have done single family, right? And so now I'm down to 1450. Or maybe you want to connect with investors who are buying small multifamilies for cash, and I've got 34 of those. And again, I've still got cash buyers buying multifamily 2 to 4 units in the last year who have purchased 50 or who own 50 or more properties. So there are tons of characteristics that you can do. Property type is just one of them. Another thing that you can do is instead of looking for cash buyers, you can look specifically for flippers. And what this means, and I'm gonna take off these other characteristics, but what this means for flippers, so I came over to this definition page for what everything means, and you can see that flippers, it says anything that's currently for sale on the MLS that was purchased within the last 24 months. So these are properties that are being flipped. And so if I'm able to find the investors in my market who are flipping properties, and again, I could say, well, I don't want them to just own 1 property. I want any investor that owns, let's go down here and again say, I want a flipper who owns at least 5 properties, 425 of them. I want a flipper that owns at least 50 properties. There's 184 of them. These are the people that we want to be networking with, that we want to be taking to lunch, that we want to be side hustling for. I'll put a link to this video right here in the description. These are the types of people that we want to get in our network so we can figure out how to grow our net worth. One way to reach out to these people would be to skip trace them and give them a call. The same way that you might skip trace a seller and say, hey, do you want to sell your property? You can skip trace active investors in your market and say, hi, my name is so-and-so, I'm a new investor, and I would love to whatever, whether that is, but don't say pick your brain. Please do not ask to pick people's brains. It just kind of makes it seem like you don't value their time or the value that they'll be giving you. You could say, I would love to pay you for X hours of your time in order to mentor me on blank. But whatever it is, you want to be really specific. I have a side hustle of getting quotes for contractors, right? So I have a side hustle for double checking contractor work before payment is released. I have a side hustle for removing scrap metal from construction sites for free. Like, I've put together this video that has a ton of different side hustles that you could do. These are the people that you want to call up and start networking with and start giving value to, because they're the ones who are the most active investors in your market. Now that we have our list, I'm gonna come over to RESIMPLI and we're gonna go into how you would, one, contact these people and how you would continuously network with them. So this is my RESIMPLI account. Again, there's an affiliate link in the description below if you want to check them out. And so we're actually going to come over here and we're going to start with web forms first. So I'm going to this little general tab, then I'm going to come down to web forms. And we're gonna go, instead of the lead web form, which I'll talk about in another video, because we're focusing on networking, we're gonna go over to this buyers web form. So you can see this is my actual web form for buyers, and I'm gonna copy this link right here and show you what it looks like. This is a link that I have in my phone saved, and whenever I meet someone, whether it be they email me, DM me, I go to a meetup, I meet them in a Facebook group, whenever I meet someone who's an investor or a cash buyer, I send them this link and it allows them to enter in all of their information, tell me a little bit about the deals they're looking for, and then they automatically go into RESIMPLI, into my database, so that whenever I get a deal, I can send it out to all of my buyers. So many of us are meeting people and just taking down a phone number, but we're not putting them into a place where they're easily accessible. We're not getting information about what they're buying, why they're buying it, what parts of town they're buying it in, and it's just disorganized. And so this is how I keep everybody organized, and it really does make you look a little bit more professional. So as you can see, it says join my buyer list, kind of got my logo right there. It's a little small right now. And then it lets them put in their name, their contact information. They can put in the target cities, target zip codes. And then I've set aside, and RESIMPLI lets you kind of customize these questions of, you know, me personally, I'm looking for buyers and I'm looking for partners. So like with our apartment deal investing, we're taking on partners. But for single family homes, if I'm wholesaling, then I'm just looking for buyers. So that's why I specifically ask this question. Then I ask how they're financing, the number of deals they've done, the max price property they'd like to receive deals for, what type of property they're interested in, how many deals they want to do, et cetera, et cetera. And then I can actually text them and email them whenever I get a deal. Everybody who gets this goes on my list. I don't have to just remember who's on my list. So that's the RESIMPLI buyer form. Oh, there we go. And you can see that you're able to customize your questions right here. So now you've been able to find the people you want to network with on PropStream. You can use your RESIMPLI buyer form to get those people's information and continuously add people to your buyers database, which I will show you. You can find, so if you look right here under this contacts tab and then you go to buyers, I'm not going to click on it because I'm going to show you guys all of my buyers. I don't want their personal information out there, but that's where all of your buyers sit. And you can do the same thing with contractors. So that's the second way that we're going to do it. And then the third step is we're actually going to set up, and this is what I think is honestly most powerful, is we're going to set up a drip campaign. And a lot of people use drip campaigns to follow up with sellers, but I use drip campaigns also to follow up with the people that I want to network with. And so I'm going to set up a new one for you guys right here where I click add drip campaign, and this is going to be a drip campaign for cash buyers. And I am going to, the second day after I meet someone, so it's going to do a 1-day delay. So if I add them to my system this day, and then the second day, 1 day later, hopefully that makes sense, I'm going to send them a text message. Okay, so an SMS, and I'm going to say, hey, it's Lili.
We spoke yesterday. Thanks for your time. I really enjoyed our chat, and I look forward to doing some business
soon. Boom. And then I can add another step. And I can continue to network with this person automatically. RESIMPLI's gonna take care of sending these things out for me automatically. And I'm gonna say, you don't wanna text somebody every single day, but you just wanna stay top of mind. And so maybe I'll say 2 weeks later, say days, I say SMS. Something like that. And you can see that there's actually a lot of different things that you could do. So you can choose the duration, minutes, days, weeks, months, whatever. You can send an SMS like we showed. You can send a direct mail piece. And this is why I say this is typically reserved for sellers, because typically what these direct mail pieces say is like, oh, we're still interested in your property. We want to sell your property. And these are things that I send to sellers, but this isn't something I would send to a cash buyer. But you could send an email. You could send a ringless voicemail, which is where you would record yourself basically leaving somebody a voicemail. You can say, hey, it's Lili, just calling to catch up again. Give me a call back when you have a chance. And then that automatically goes to the voicemail of all of my cash buyers. I could set myself a task, which would tell me these are all of the people in my business. But for myself, let's say I'm going to set it as this is something the owner needs to do. And I'm going to say, call and chat with this cash buyer to see what they've been up to. And then it'll remind me to do that task on that particular day, month, whatever. So drip campaigns are super, super powerful because it automates things so that you know every single person I add to this drip campaign is going to get these text messages, consistently building that relationship and networking with them. And another one that I set up is for real estate agents. So whenever I contact a real estate agent, right, I can say, this is my real estate agent, oh, I can't spell, drip campaign. Then I can do pretty much the exact same thing. Nice speaking with you. Could also do another one that just says, hey, my name is Lili, the new investor you spoke with. Just wondering if you've gotten any new listings for distressed properties. I'd love to come take a look and make an offer. So my networking is automated and done for me. And it's so, so powerful because most of us just forget to follow up with people. And you can make these drip campaigns as long as you want. You could set them out for the next year where you're just following up with people once every 1 to 3 months, but you're just staying front of mind so that whenever an opportunity comes up, you're someone that the best cash buyers and investors in your market automatically think of. If you like the idea of using PropStream and RESIMPLI in your business, you can check out the free 5-day challenge I did, walking you through how to set up everything in your business, showing you how to do the market research on PropStream, all the way to setting up every single thing that you need within RESIMPLI, both to network with cash buyers, agents, as well as all of your seller leads so that you never drop the ball. That challenge is free. I will put a link to it in the description below. And until next time, maybe you should check out this video.